right, it is time to meet the bad boy of Hollywood gossip. That is none other than AJ Benza. If Hedda Hopper was Hollywood's Iron Fist queen and Walter Winchell was the king, then AJ Benza came along as the rebel prince, bringing a whole new edge to celebrity gossip. Known for his no-nonsense attitude and unforgettable catchphrase, "Fame ain't it a bitch," AJ made gossip raw, personal, and real. He didn't just write about celebrities, he got up close and personal, right in the thick of it, and he wasn't afraid to call out anyone who crossed him. Born in 1962 in Brooklyn, New York, AJ grew up as a tough guy attitude who had a love for storytelling, and when he hit Hollywood, he didn't just join the gossip game. He brought a whole new energy to it. Let's dive into the life of AJ Benza, the man who made gossip a little rougher around the edges. AJ Benza's journey into the world of gossip started back in New York, where he worked as a columnist for the New York Daily News. He wasn't just interested in Hollywood stars. He wrote about mobsters, crime bosses, and the underbelly of New York's nightlife. AJ's column had this rough, gritty feel that set it apart from other gossip sites at the time, and other gossip just altogether. And he developed a reputation as someone who could handle the dark side of fame. In the early 1990s, AJ's column, Hot Copy, became popular in New York, and his sharp, sometimes abrasive style caught Hollywood's attention. By early 1990s, AJ's column, Hot Copy, became popular in New York, and his sharp, sometimes abrasive style caught Hollywood's attention. By the mid-90s, he packed his bags and moved to Los Angeles, ready to bring his streetwise approach to the West Coast, and Hollywood, well, it didn't know what hit it. AJ Benza wasn't interested in polite gossip or tiptoeing around stories. He was direct, in your face, and real. While other gossip columnists might write with a wink or a nudge, AJ told it like it was. His approach was raw, with a streetwise attitude that wasn't afraid to get dirty. AJ had a way of writing that made you feel like you were right there with him, grabbing a drink in some dark Hollywood bar, listening to all of the juicy details. He didn't just focus on who was dating whom or who got into a fight on a set. AJ went for the scandals, the fallouts, the real drama that kept Hollywood running. And he didn't care if stories made stars uncomfortable. In fact, he kind of liked it that way. AJ's gossip was gritty and unapologetic, and he had no problem calling people out, even if it meant making a few enemies along the way. In the late 1990s, AJ took his career to the next level by joining the E! Network, hosting Mysteries and Scandals.
On June 22nd, 1969, the death of one of Hollywood's most beloved stars came as sad news to America and the world. Judy Garland was only 47 years old when she was discovered dead of a drug overdose in a London apartment. Whatever happened to that wide-eyed, innocent girl, so filled with hope and joy and boundless enthusiasm?
Well, I've hung on to every bit of rubbish there is to hang on to in life, and I've thrown all the good bits away.
On this episode of Mysteries and Scandals, we'll explore how and why one of the brightest stars and most beloved singers, Judy Garland, self-destructed.
You've deserted me. I said, Judy, please, never. Everybody deserts me. Everybody.
Everybody was out to use her. Everybody was out to get something from her.
She kept running away, running away, running away.
Sadly, Judy learned you can run, but you can't hide. I'm AJ Benza. Join me as we examine the agonizing life of an American tragedy, Judy Garland. On June
This
20
show was a perfect fit for AJ. Each episode covered a Hollywood mystery or scandal, complete with AJ's tough guy narration and biting commentary. He took viewers behind the scenes of Hollywood's biggest secrets, from unsolved murders to star-studded feuds, and he did it with classic AJ Benza attitude, rough around the edges and undeniably captivating.
Stroll down the flip side of the Walk of Fame with the original series Mysteries and Scandals. AJ Benza explores the lives and deaths of Hollywood legends, including Marilyn Monroe, Howard Hughes, Harry Houdini, and Judy Garland.
We're talking about the godfathers and godmothers of Hollywood, the people who laid the foundation of this town that we can't get enough about. So you can't lose with names like that.
Yeah, but appearances can be deceiving, especially when it came to Alfalfa. Off-screen, this rascal more resembled a pint-sized Dirty Harry than the boy next door. And when Alfalfa outgrew his on-screen appeal, his hot-tempered desperation proved fatal.
A lot of people are just waiting to see these beautiful, talented, gifted people fall off the tightrope. And unfortunately, a lot of people are like that, and this show gives you a half-hour glimpse into that kind of fall.
But fans of the show also want to see AJ Benza.
Oh, Carlo! You need to come back, you!
You never know what to expect when AJ hits Hollywood Boulevard.
Guys.
It's a green light, mother. But was she ready to face the challenge? That's great. You're great. Hold on. Oh, you! Damn! Coming up, move over. Come on!
One time there was a little like a roughneck gang member, and he came around the show a couple times and said some stuff during the shoot, and I yelled back at him, and he lifted his jacket up and showed me a gun, and said he was coming back. What the f is this guy doing now? What the f are they worried about? And one time I broke this knuckle in 20 places, this little knuckle. Sorry, this is not a bad thing. Couldn't say a particular word. I got mad and I went to punch a bush.
The toxic combination liberated this complex woman from the pain. Oh,
no. I didn't realize behind the bush was like a 1,000-pound planter, a cement planter. And I hit it, and it sounded like a ball-peen hammer on bricks, and the thing just shattered. And I wore a splint for a few months, and now it's fine. I'm able to give the finger again, whenever I need to.
When there's smoke, there's AJ.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this is the one.
Here we go, we're rolling.
Oh my God. More smoke, smoke it up. Yeah, too much smoke, baby. I see nothing. Just ahead, could Alfalfa overcome this smoke? What the man? I willingly get chemotherapy treatments now, because I'm sure that's cancer causing the smoke. So I have an appointment at Cedars-Sinai tomorrow about 2 o'clock for just a quick dose of radiation.
Despite the hazards of the job, AJ always keeps his cool.
Come on.
This was where AJ really shined. He had a way of telling stories that was part noir, part tabloid, and all attitude. His catchphrase, "Fame ain't it a bitch," became iconic, capturing the dark side of Hollywood that AJ loved to expose. Mysteries and Scandals wasn't just about the gossip, it was about showing the cost of fame, and AJ became the perfect narrator for these tales of Hollywood's highs and lows. Of course, AJ's rise in Hollywood wasn't without a bit controversy. He developed a reputation for having a very short fuse, and he wasn't afraid to let people know it. One of his most famous feuds was with actor Howard Stern. Their on-air confrontation turned into a physical fight during an appearance on the Howard Stern show.
You want me?
Joe, you're on the air.
Hey, I got a question for AJ.
Go ahead.
Did your show get canceled yet, loser?
Yeah.
Chris, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I suffer from insomnia,
And I tried sleeping pills, I tried sedatives, I tried everything, and I finally found something that cures my insomnia. AJ After Hours.
Hey, man.
What is this? Come on.
Let me tell you something right now. No, it's okay. It's all right. If you can say that. But I will do one thing before I leave today.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab Stuttering John by the face, and I'm gonna punch him right in his friggin' head. One more call gets through, and you're dead, you fat bastard.
You didn't hear what just happened? Well, the guy said that the show sucks, right? Yeah, so AJ goes, you know what I'm gonna do, Howard? He goes, if Stuttering John puts one more call through like this, I'm gonna go out there and beat the shit out of it. Let me go. What? What line is open? I think it'd be funny if I do, guy. Yeah. What line is open? 236. Let me call. We'll put it on. You know what? Go into. No, don't do it yet. All right.
Yeah, Mel, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, the only thing more embarrassing is the AJ After Hours show.
Oh. Get that John right now.
And you know
that John right now.
And you know who's really embarrassed?
Who?
Even more embarrassed of that show than AJ?
Who?
His hair. It jumped right off his head to get away from him.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I know it was John.
Cementing AJ's reputation as someone who didn't back down. This wasn't just a gimmick for AJ, he was the real deal. He didn't just write about Hollywood's darker side, he lived in it. And sometimes that meant pushing the limits. In an industry where so many played safe, AJ brought his raw, unpredictable energy that reminded people that gossip didn't always have to be polite. His public confrontations and clashes became part of his persona, making him one of the most unpredictable figures in Hollywood gossip. For all of his success, AJ had a complicated relationship with Hollywood. He loved the thrill of the gossip game, the rush of breaking a story, but he also was very wary of Hollywood's glitzy facade. AJ understood the cost of fame better than anyone, and he often said that Hollywood had a way of chewing people up and spitting them out. As the 2000s wore on, the gossip would begin to shift with the rise of the internet blogs and anonymous gossip sites. AJ's style was raw and real, but the world of gossip was becoming faster and more anonymous, with websites that could post stories 24/7 without the need for the same personal connections that AJ had built like no other. It was a new era, and the landscape that he had once dominated was changing. His relationship with E eventually ended, and though AJ continued writing and appearing in media, his time in Hollywood as their bad boy of gossip began to fade. So what did AJ Benza leave behind? He left behind a legacy of grit, honesty, that classic no-filter approach that very few others could pull off. AJ wasn't just a gossip columnist. He was a storyteller, a personality, a guy who loved Hollywood but never quite fit into its polished world. He showed that gossip could be bold, even a little brutal, and he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty to bring people the truth, or at least a version of it. In a way, AJ was the bridge between the old school gossip and the digital age. He wasn't anonymous. He was right there, front and center, and he made sure everyone knew it. He brought the grit of New York to Hollywood, making gossip feel like it's the underground club, with him as the guy who held all of the secrets. And definitely, although he may not be writing on the regular, make sure to check out his podcast that has been around for many years, and there are so many great juicy stories. And guess what? It's called Fame Ain't It a Bitch? So the next time you see a bold headline or a juicy blind item, think about AJ Benza, the man who showed Hollywood that gossip could be real, raw, and yet a bit messy. AJ's style might feel old school today, but his spirit lives on in every tell it like it is story we see. Fame, as AJ would say, ain't it a bitch? And he loved every minute of exposing Hollywood's side of it. AJ's Benza reminded us that fame isn't always glamorous, and the truth behind the stars may be a little rough, just like him. In a world where gossip can sometimes feel polished and manufactured, AJ was a throwback to a time when Hollywood secrets had a little bit more grit, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. Right, it is time to talk about a legend, the man who made gossip feel like a wild, glamorous game. None other than Ted Casablanca, the man who helped me develop my love for what is celebrity gossip and blind items. Now, if you are a true gossip fan like myself, you know Ted didn't just write about Hollywood, he redefined it. Ted Casablanca was the master of the blind item, turning celebrity gossip into a dazzling puzzle we all wanted to solve. His column, The Awful Truth on E! Online, was nothing short of iconic, with his fans obsessively checking in for the latest scoop, myself included, and for good reason. Ted's style was cheeky, witty, and endlessly mysterious. He gave us just enough hints to drive us crazy and left us coming back for more every single day. If Hedda Hopper was the queen of the old Hollywood and AJ Benza was the gritty bad boy, then Ted Casablanca was the fabulous, charming, and endlessly clever king of modern gossip. Let's dive into the life and the legacy of the man who truly made celebrity secrets a work of art. Ted Casablanca, born Jack Bernstein, came onto the scene with a unique voice that nobody could ignore. Before he was writing blinds, he had a taste for the Hollywood lifestyle. He worked at Interview magazine with Andy Warhol and then found his way to E! Online, where he created The Awful Truth. The column took the world of gossip to a whole new level, combining Ted's insider information with his sharp wit and sense of humor. And trust me, Hollywood had never seen anything like it. Ted Casablanca didn't just report gossip. He made it feel like an exclusive party that only his readers were invited to. With his catty, clever language, Ted's blinds were a mix of high drama, insider secrets, and just the right amount of sass. And he had a style all of his own, giving his celebrity these unforgettable nicknames. Toothy Tile, anyone? Fans would spend hours dissecting his clues, piecing together the stories, and trying to figure out who was behind each cryptic name. The Awful Truth wasn't just a gossip column. It was a cultural phenomenon. Ted Casablanca took the concept of a blind item and he totally elevated it to a new form, wrapping juicy secrets in a wit and charm. Each item felt like a little riddle, and Ted was the mischievous master pulling all of the strings. He'd hint at a certain A- list actor with a big toothy grin, or a diva with a shopping habit that could rival her movie roles. And readers were hooked. They couldn't get enough of his coy language and his insider style hints. What made Ted's blinds so addictive was that they were more than just gossip. They were a game. His readers felt like insiders, as though they were in Hollywood's most guarded secrets, armed with clues and playing detective. Ted made sure that his blinds were juicy enough to make headlines, but never crossed the line into cruelty. Charm lay in the way he teased readers, inviting them to guess without ever quite giving away the full story. And that's what made him irresistible. Ted Casablanca had a way of writing that felt almost like a conversation with your sassy best friend. His language was playful, his nicknames unforgettable, and his descriptions, honey, they were spot on. Stars were not just actors or singers to Ted. They were larger than life characters in this Hollywood soap opera he created for his readers. He gave readers these delicious, iconic names like Toothy Tile, Faye Oiled Tush, and Princess Powder Puff, giving each celebrity a bit of mystique while keeping everyone guessing. Each blind was a mystery wrapped in glitter, and Ted's fans loved it. People would obsess, analyzing every word, every hint, and decoding who was behind the blinds. For Ted's readers, it wasn't just gossip. It was an experience, an escape into a world, glamour, secrets, and a little bit of mischief. And if you were a daily reader, you know it was practically an addiction. Ted wasn't just a gossip columnist. He created a community of fans who felt like they were right there with him and in on every secret. His column wasn't just about taking down stars or ruining reputations. It was about playing in the world of Hollywood with just a bit of fabulous, harmless fun. His fans didn't just read his column, they became part of the game, guessing and sharing theories in chat rooms, forums, dissecting every clue. Ted made gossip feel like a group activity where every fan was a detective. And Ted was devoted to his fans as they were to him. He interacted with them, engaged in their theories, and kept them coming back for more with his playful and irresistible clues. There was a sense of camaraderie, a shared for love of Hollywood's most fabulous mysteries, and it created a loyal following that still is obsessed with him to this day. In 2009, Ted Casablanca stepped away from The Awful Truth, marking the end for an era in Hollywood gossip. His fans were devastated. For years, he had been their guide into Hollywood secrets, their partner in crime for all things scandalous and mysterious. His departure left a huge gap in the world, a space that no one has quite been able to fill. But his influence didn't just end there. Ted Casablanca left a legacy that shaped the way gossip is written today. Every time you see a blind item with a clever nickname or a bit of a coy wordplay, you're seeing a bit of Ted's magic. He was a pioneer of that playful, fabulous style of blinds that so many try to replicate but never quite capture. Ted made gossip fun, glamorous, and just a bit wicked. It's also no surprise that he ended up going back to the art world after leaving the gossip game. So what did Ted Casablanca leave behind? For his fans, people would check his site daily, obsessing over each clue and poring over every word. He left behind a world that felt like a secret club, a place where we could indulge in the thrill of Hollywood's mysteries. Ted Casablanca showed us that gossip didn't have to be harsh or hurtful. It could be fun, fabulous, and full of character. For those that loved his column, he'll always be the king of blinds, the man who turned gossip into a daily obsession. Ted Casablanca gave us gossip heart, sass, and style, and in doing so, he inspired a generation of gossip lovers who still search for the same magic today. So here's to Ted, the man who turns Hollywood secrets into a delicious game that we all got to play. All right, folks, let's dive into the world of Lainey Gossip, the woman who took celebrity gossip to a whole new level of smart, sassy, and thought-provoking commentary. Lainey, born Elaine Lui, isn't just any gossip columnist. She is a cultural commentator who made gossip feel like both an obsession and a masterclass in understanding fame. Lainey brought a sharp, intelligent perspective to the world of celebrity lines, giving readers more than just rumors. She gave them context, psychology, and yes, shade.
I believe that what I do on my blog is really the Friday night after work martini conversation about Ben Affleck or Brad Pitt or whoever, just online.
I don't think it's just a Friday night martini. My wife tells me all the time, there's the morning coffee happening with this coffee history, and we were kind of chatting off camera about the idea of what you have built with the website and obviously now with the talk show, this whole idea of building a conversation around pop culture, around gossip.
Well, I think it's hugely important. I mean, I love that we're talking today about conversations because Lainey Gossip is a conversation. Every day I open my blog with Dear Gossips. It's a letter, and that introduces the day's content. And what I'm trying to do in that format, and it will never change, is Dear Gossips, here's what I'm thinking about, all my thoughts. Are we gonna fight about this? Let me know what you think. Yours in Gossip, Lainey. And it is meant to convey to people that, hey, we're vibing about this together.
Well, what do you think it is?
Born in Canada, Lainey quickly became the queen of Canadian gossip, but her reach went global when fans began logging on daily to see her fresh take on Hollywood's biggest players. Let's get into what made Lainey Gossip a daily must-read for those of us who wanted our celebrity news with a bit more of insight. Lainey's journey into the world of celebrity gossip started as a blog that she ran on the side while working full-time. She began writing about celebrities in a way that felt different from traditional gossip column. It was fresh, witty, and smart. She wasn't just giving scoop, she was giving her analysis of the scoop. Lainey's blog quickly gained traction, attracting readers who wanted more than just fluff. They wanted to know the why behind the headlines.
What do you think it is about celebrity gossip, about pop culture, and the nature of speaking about these issues that makes gossip so relevant? What is it that makes gossip so popular?
When you're talking about the celebrity, that's just the introduction into the conversation. The celebrity is your conduit, but the conversation really is about what you believe in, what your values are, what you would have done in that situation.
By the mid-2000s, Lainey's blog, Lainey Gossip, was one of the go-to sites for people who wanted an intellectual twist on Hollywood drama. She wasn't just about sensationalism. She was about understanding the bigger picture. Celebrity as a reflection of culture, power dynamics, and the ever-changing rules of fame. Lainey didn't just deliver gossip. She created a space where gossip could be analyzed, debated, and deeply enjoyed. One thing
experience infidelity. Lots of people have struggles in their relationship. And in that conduit, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, thank you very much, you are shaping your perspective about those issues and sharing it with your community.
You know, it's so poignant because I remember when you were on stage, TEDx Vancouver 2012, and you give this TED Talk about the sociology of gossip. And I remember something that stood out to me was you saying that celebrity gossip is the conversation that exposes who we are.
One thing that set Lainey apart was her sharp, witty style. Lainey wasn't afraid to call things as she saw them, but she always did it with a sense of humor and intelligence. She'd take a story about a Hollywood breakup and break it down, asking questions like, what does this mean for their brand? Or how does this play into the public perceptions of them? She had a knack for pulling back the curtain on celebrity narratives and showing readers what might really be going on behind the scenes.
Given everything you've covered and everything you've analyzed, how many true stories and themes do you think that are out there and just get recycled over and over with new faces?
Well, there are, I mean, if you, in literature or in comedy and drama, there are probably only 5 themes, right? Love, hate, betrayal, disappointment. I mean, these are very common themes, and you can extract them from every story. So these are universal and they're immortal. The interest in love is immortal. The interest in betrayal and the reaction from betrayal is immortal. The interest in pursuing happiness is immortal. And so given that those themes are immortal, the players, the actors, and the writers who are interpreting those themes will go on.
And the storytelling aspect is so vital, and this is what you do well with every single post, because there's so many blogs out there. How do you approach the idea of telling a story and doing it succinctly and doing it well so your gossips are responding and sharing this content?
Well, you kept using the word story, and the reason why is because it is storytelling. Everything is storytelling. Even sports is storytelling. You know, when you watch a sports program or when you're watching a game, the story is that these are the players, they have to abide by a set of rules, but then the drama unfolds within those parameters. That's a story. And so when you write about celebrities, you can't just throw out the facts. What you're doing is you're extracting the storytelling elements about it. You know, these are the characters, what were their motivations? What could possibly have been their ulterior motivations? What would the outcomes be? How can they change those outcomes? All of that is storyboarding. All of that is, like, you know, that kind of approach to every post I have is probably not unlike the approach that writers have in a writer's room when they're writing a TV show. But in essence, the bare bones of the process is building a story and breaking a story.
And let's talk about her signature shade. Lainey had this fantastic ability to throw subtle jabs that were as clever as they were entertaining. She hinted at a star's public persona while poking at the cracks, questioning whether the image they projected was as perfect as it seemed. Her tone was playful, but thoughtful, making her readers feel like they were part of the inside joke, seeing the stories behind the stories.
It can't be like, if I'm the nice website, great, then you have to be nice all the time. When Chris Brown beats the shit out of Rihanna, you gotta be nice. If you're snarky, then you gotta be snarky consistently. Sometimes you can be nice if it's warranted, but you gotta inject a certain amount of bitch in there. Otherwise, that's not your brand. So it's about brand definition and making sure that the vision is cohesive.
Unlike many traditional gossip columnists who would just drop a line and let readers go wild, Lainey took a different approach. She wanted her audience to understand the context behind the blinds. She hinted at the mystery, yes, but she'd also give her thoughts on what the celebrity motivations might be, how this story would fit into their career, and how it reflected in the industry's power structure. For example, if she hinted at a certain Oscar-nominated actress with a reputation for being difficult on set, she'd follow it up with her take on Hollywood's double standards for male and female stars. Lainey didn't just want readers to guess who was behind the blind. She wanted them to think about why this narrative existed in the first place, something I could totally appreciate. She had a way of balancing the thrill of gossip with social commentary, making her readers feel a little bit more smarter with every post. Lainey didn't just report on celebrity scandals. She explored what they said about society, fame, and our obsession with both. Her writing made you realize that celebrity gossip wasn't just about the stars, it's about us, about what we value and what we're willing to overlook. She analyzed how media shapes our views on celebrities and discussed how certain stars use their platforms to control their images, carefully crafting their public personas. For Lainey, gossip was never about just spilling secrets. She used it as a tool to examine fame and culture, showing her readers that the way we talk about celebrities can tell us a lot more about the world that we live in. She'd write about a star's career move or a personal scandal and ask, what does this say about Hollywood's values? Lainey's take was always insightful, making gossip feel like an academic study, one with a lot more fun and a lot more sass. One of the most remarkable things about Lainey Gossip was the community Lainey built. Her readers weren't just passive consumers, they were engaged, thoughtful, and as obsessed as she was. People logged in daily not only for her takes on Hollywood, but to dive into the comments, debate theories, and share their own perspectives. Lainey created a safe space for people to love gossip openly without shame. Her readers felt like insiders, part of the savvy club that they saw beyond their superficial stories. They knew Lainey wasn't just giving them gossip, she was letting them into a world where they could feel smart, entertained, and in the know. And Lainey herself would interact with them, responding to theories and engaging in the conversation, making her audience feel like they were a part of something special. Lainey Gossip changed the way we look at celebrity gossip. She took what was once seen as trash media and transformed it into something that was thoughtful, witty, and insightful. Her writing style inspired a whole new generation of gossip bloggers and readers who wanted more than just scandal. They wanted depth, context, and a bit of clever humor. She proved that you can talk about Hollywood and still be intelligent. She showed that gossip can be a lens through which we examine our society, our values, and our own fascination with fame. In doing so, Lainey redefined what it means to be a gossip columnist, paving the way for a style that balances juicy details with cultural critique. So what did Lainey leave behind? She left a legacy of smart, sassy gossip that isn't afraid to dig a little deeper. Lainey Gossip made us question the way we see celebrities and the narratives that they craft. She reminded us that behind every Hollywood story, there is a bigger picture, a hidden motivation, a game of power, an image that's fascinating to dissect. For those who logged on every day, she wasn't just a gossip columnist. She was a cultural critic, a mentor in the art of seeing past the surface. Lainey taught her readers to look at Hollywood with a critical eye, to enjoy the drama, but also to ask the questions, to see the layers underneath the glamour. She made gossip a thinking person's game, and for that, we will always be grateful.
People know that when they come to Lainey Gossip that I write from Monday to Friday, and that this is the word count that they're going to expect. Like in general, there have been lighter days and heavier days, but in general, they're going to get 3,500 words. That's over 3,000 words a day. They're going to get something to read, and they know that, you know, it's not going to be like sometimes Tuesday, sometimes Monday. Consistency. People have to trust that. So it's patience, it's consistency, and then you have to have a very, very clear vision.
All right, get ready because we are diving into the wild world of Perez Hilton, the man who took celebrity gossip to a whole new level of scandalous. Perez, born Mario Lavanera, didn't just join the gossip scene, he redefined it. Starting in the early 2000s, Perez was the original digital bad boy, mixing gossip with controversy and, well, a little bit of shock value. With his brash, no-holds-barred approach, Perez made his site, perezhilton.com, one of the most famous and infamous celebrity blogs on the internet. If there's one thing Perez Hilton knew, it was how to get people talking. He wasn't just reporting on Hollywood's biggest secrets, he was adding his own twist, stirring up drama, and leaving everyone wanting more. Let's get into the life and the legacy of Perez Hilton, the man who brought a whole lot of sass and a bit of chaos to celebrity gossip. Perez's journey began when he moved from Miami to Los Angeles with dreams of making it in the entertainment industry, but it wasn't long before he found his true calling in celebrity gossip. In 2004, he started his blog as fun side project, sharing his thoughts on Hollywood with his unique, unapologetic, blunt voice. Originally called Page 666, his site was quickly renamed perezhilton.com, a cheeky nod to Perez Hilton, who was one of the biggest tabloid stars at the time. As this blog didn't just recap celebrity news, it transformed it. He had a signature style that set him apart from everyone else. He doodled on celebrity photos, adding crude sketches, captions, and comments that were often hilarious, sometimes harsh, and always unforgettable. Perez had this way of making every post feel like a guilty pleasure, a look into the world of Hollywood that was fun, flashy, and totally unfiltered. What made Perez Hilton different from everyone else? He wasn't trying to be polite or respectful. He was raw, he was loud, and he was in your face. Perez was fearless, writing things that most gossip writers would have never dared to publish. His headlines were sensational. His commentary was biting. He loved to call out celebrities in ways that were, let's just say, loud. Perez didn't hold back. He'd hint at affairs, call out bad behavior, and criticize stars openly. And he had this special brand of shade that felt personal. He wasn't afraid to draw double horns on an actor he didn't like or post unflattering pictures of a star with his own snarky commentary to add in. This wasn't traditional gossip. It was Perez's unfiltered version, his own, and people couldn't get enough. But here's the thing about Perez Hilton. His no-holds-barred style didn't just get him attention, it got him enemies, a lot of enemies. Over the years, Perez had feuds with some of the biggest names in Hollywood, from Miley Cyrus to Lady Gaga to will.i.am.
Lady Gaga, everybody, and Perez have been locked in a legendary battle for way too long. I've never really heard you talk about it, so we want you to spill it here. All right, give it to us, Perez.
She said in an interview recently that I was a fake friend.
She said that on Howard Stern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you know anything or one thing about Perez Hilton, I think it's that I'm not fake and I keep it real. And I viewed her as an IRL friend, in real life friend. I viewed her as more than just a friend. Like, I used to jokingly or nicknamed her my wifey. Like, to me, she was that kind of friend. And
okay. Where did this go back to? Because I remember the last time I saw you all together was that cute special that you had, you and Gaga. She came off tour to film that with you so that your project would take off and be successful.
Yeah, and she mentioned that, and she briefly mentioned, or has mentioned, but hasn't really gone in depth about her issues. She said that, you know, she recently, over the last couple of years, she's had issues with drugs and alcohol. When we were filming that, she got obliterated drunk.
And I heard that
amongst other things.
At one point, she wanted you to turn the cameras off, but you didn't.
Well, we did, but she got really upset because I asked her about her boyfriend. And I'm like, I didn't ask anything inappropriate. Just me even bringing her boyfriend up set her off. But, you know, when people are on drugs and alcohol, they behave irrationally, erratically, and are mean to those that they love.
Perez's confrontational approach led to some very public, very messy showdowns. His biggest feuds was with Lady Gaga. They started as friends, but their friendship famously imploded, and Perez didn't hesitate to write about it. He called her out in his blog, criticized her choices, and basically turned their fallout into a public spectacle.
Oh.
It's true.
Okay, so then after you heard the Howard interview, you tweeted that Gaga is a real-life vampire. What does that mean?
Meaning she has a history of, and I don't want to name names I have, whatever, but like she globs onto people, uses them, and once they're no longer of use to her, will just throw them aside.
Oh.
That is what I've observed. She, you know, she'll deny that or maybe not.
Is it true that you tried to buy an apartment in her building here in New York, so she accused you of being a stalker?
No, that's not true. And if I was looking at places and I didn't know she lived in that building, everybody knows where she lives. I mean, in her mind, the world revolves around her. If I would have known she was in that building, I wouldn't not have even looked at it in the first place.
It's almost like you're about to cry. Like, this is very emotional. You can barely.
I'm not about to cry. I'm about to laugh.
Okay.
It's also absurd.
Is there any chance for a reconciliation?
Is there any chance of a reconciliation? No, I think I'm much. I mean, I definitely. I mean.
No, he said. Okay, for more information on Perez and more of these juicy stories, go to perezhilton.com.
Then there was Miley Cyrus, whom Perez would routinely critique, sometimes crossing the line in ways that stirred up backlash. Perez seemed to thrive on the drama, and he didn't shy away from letting his personal feelings influence his writing. For Perez, gossip wasn't just about Hollywood secrets, it was about creating spectacle. He loved the shock factor, the ability to rile up people, and he wasn't afraid to burn bridges. In his world, feuds were a part of the brand, and his readers loved every second of it. Perez Hilton's rise coincided with the peak of the tabloids and the paparazzi era. Stars like Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, and Perez Hilton were constantly hounded by photographers, and Perez was right there, documenting every move. He'd post about their breakdowns, their fashion disasters, and their relationship dramas, turning their struggles into headlines, and that were as captivating as they were controversial. One of Perez's most infamous moments came during Britney Spears' public struggles in the mid-2000s. Perez covered every twist and turn of Britney's life, often in a way that felt exploitive. And he later admitted he regretted some of the things he wrote about her. I mean, he later regretted a lot of regrets, like so many of us have, especially if you've been involved in the gossip world. Hopefully some of us just know better now.
Us now from his home in Los Angeles. Welcome to the show, Perez. I have to tell you, when I was tracking that piece, reading it, and even watching it now, it was tough for me. Given the person you say you are now and your kids and where you are, is it hard for you to relive some of those moments? I know you've written about it.
It is hard for me because I feel like I am a prisoner to that past. And I have baggage, which we all do, but my baggage is very public and very heavy. And I feel like it's constantly dragging me down. And that's fine. I've accepted that. I've accepted that no matter how different I am and no matter what changes I make, most people will only view me as that first incarnation of myself that they encountered many years ago.
You know, it's interesting because I do want to get to where you are now, but start at where you were. In the book, TMI, My Life in Scandal, you said, September 2004, I discovered the world of blogging and decided to give it a try. I don't really know why I started writing, probably just to entertain myself. Whatever the reason, I had zero hopes of anyone actually reading it. But then it blows up, Perez, to the point where, as I stated, you were making almost $50,000 a week in ads from serving up all of this gossip. Were you surprised at how popular it got and how fast it became an addiction for people?
I was shocked because nothing like what I was doing existed at the time. When I began, there wasn't even a TMZ. Back in 2004 and 2005, People Magazine or Us Weekly weren't using their websites to break celebrity news. It was just go here to sign up for the magazine and get subscriptions. So I helped change how people consume media, and I got consumed in the process.
It was last week, American Idol alum, somebody I was a fan of when she was on the show, Nikki McKibben, passed away from a brain aneurysm. And I know you know this by now. Her final post on Instagram, she referenced you in the post, and she said, Perez Hilton, from drunk mess to sober blimp to doting nana, I haven't forgotten. What is your reaction to that? Nikki, those words that she wrote.
It was even more sadness to an already sad situation. I know that I will be paying a price for my past mistakes until I die. And I almost feel like there's nothing I can do. I think we're also seeing in 2020, I deserve everything.
When you read it, did you cry, Perez?
But at the time, Perez was riding that tabloid wave, giving readers exactly what they craved. In many ways, Perez became a symbol of that era's intense scrutiny of celebrities, and his blog was the place where fans could get their daily fix of Hollywood's messiest moments. As the 2010s rolled around, the public's attitude towards celebrity gossip began to change. Social media was giving stars a way to control their own narratives, and readers were starting to question the harshness of the tabloid culture that Perez had helped create. Facing backlash and reflecting on his own past, Perez began to shift his tone, vowing to be kinder and less critical in his posts. The kinder Perez wasn't quite the bad boy that fans had once known, but it was a sign that he understood that gossip world was evolving. He started posting more positive content, focusing on celebrating celebrities rather than tearing them down. For some fans, it was welcome change. For others, it marked an end of an era. But Perez was nothing but adaptable, and he managed to keep his place in the gossip world, even if it meant softening his edge a little. Love him or hate him, Perez Hilton left an undeniable mark on the gossip industry. He helped pioneer the celebrity blog era, bringing gossip into the digital world and making it feel interactive, fun, and a little bit rebellious. He wasn't just writing about celebrities. He was talking to his audience, engaging with them with his bold, brash voice that kept readers hooked day after day. Perez influenced a new generation of gossip bloggers, showing them that gossip could be cheeky, loud, and unapologetic. He was the first one to embrace the internet as a gossip platform, a place where stories could break instantly and go viral within hours. And in doing so, he set the stage for gossip blogs, Instagram accounts, and Twitter threads that shaped celebrity culture today. So what is Perez Hilton's legacy, which is always evolving? It's complicated. On one hand, he gave us a window into Hollywood that was wild, outrageous, and utterly addictive. He showed the world that gossip could be personal, that it could provoke a reaction, and that people craved unfiltered stories about their favorite stars. But his approach also sparks a conversation about the ethics of gossip, the boundaries of privacy, and the price of fame. For those who have logged on daily, Perez's blog was like our own little secret world, a place where Hollywood felt a bit closer and a bit messier. Perez Hilton redefined what it meant to be a celebrity blogger, and he left behind a legacy that is as unforgettable as it is controversial. In a way, he was a pioneer breaking down the walls between celebrities and their fans, showing us a sign that was, as he put it, a bitch. All right, let's talk about Deuxmoi, the anonymous, elusive Instagram account that changed the way we get our gossip fix in the digital age. If Perez Hilton brought celebrity gossip online, Deuxmoi took it to a whole new level, turning it into a real-time experience where anyone, yes, anyone, can spill the tea. Deuxmoi is an account that gives us a peek into the Hollywood without the big production, without names, and famously without showing their own face.
Welcome back to So Bad It's Good, presented by Betches Media. It's always a good day when I get to talk to our next guest. You know I love our next guest. I think she makes pop culture fun. She's made it so exciting, and now she kind of is pop culture herself in so many ways. And I just gotta say, if you don't even follow the account, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg at this point. She's got merch drops. I'm holding up my amazing Deuxmoi sweatshirt that I got on the last drop. We have the Deuxmoi World app. We have the website. We've got the board game. We've got the exclusive scent. And then recently, I got the Deuxmoi cookie dough, the Dew cookie dough, which is really good, like really, really good. But most importantly, she has this amazing podcast called Do You, which I just love so much. In fact, I listened to 2 recent episodes that kind of blew me away, and I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. So without further ado, the one, the only Deuxmoi. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
In a world where stars craft perfect images and control their narratives, Deuxmoi gives us unfiltered, raw version, and people are obsessed. So let's dive into the phenomenon that is Deuxmoi, the anonymous Instagram account that took the world by storm with its blinds, its secrets, and its irresistible mystique. Deuxmoi wasn't always a celebrity gossip empire. In fact, it started as a lifestyle account on Instagram that posted about New York restaurants, street style, and everyday life. But in March 2020, when the world slowed down and everyone was looking for a distraction, Deuxmoi made a pivot that would change gossip forever. They started posting anonymous tips sent by followers, and it was an instant hit. Suddenly, people were getting direct access to celebrity sightings, scandalous whispers, and Hollywood's secrets in real time. Deuxmoi didn't need fancy graphics or high-profile sources. Their power came from their followers. Regular people with eyes and ears everywhere, from the grocery store to private parties in LA. Deuxmoi was the go-to for celebrity sightings and whispers that felt almost homemade, like your friend telling you what they saw while on a night out in the city, and the anonymity, it only made it better. What makes Deuxmoi so addictive? It's the real, raw time style that feels both casually and totally juicy. Deuxmoi doesn't write with sass or shade. They let the messages speak for themselves.
Writing it for Town and Country magazine.
Oh, thank you.
And I mentioned Deuxmoi, and everyone at Town and Country goes, well, what's that? And I'm like, what? You know what Deuxmoi is?
Thank you so much. I appreciate the shout out.
I will say, because, you know, I'm not one to like gossip, and I certainly don't like the tabloids, you know? And when you came around, honestly, it was like a throwback to this era where I mean, gossip is fun and gossip is gossip, but you did it in a way that wasn't mean. You weren't trying to cancel anyone or take anyone or just kill people like has happened in so many of the other kind of tabloid gossip arenas. And it was just refreshing. It was just like sweet. It was like blind items, sightings, and you weren't being mean, and you weren't trying to break couples up and all that. So I just loved it. It was like, I feel like it was like the old fashioned, like from the 60s almost.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I
Like, had a
really
hopper,
appreciate that.
like, just-
Yes.
Just promoting good.
Yeah. Why not? Or setting the record straight. I love to set the
And
record
the fact
straight.
That you're I mean, I'm dying that I'm meeting you. Actually, for everyone out there, I had to sign an NDA, and I was
You
so
did.
excited. I was never more excited to sign an NDA. I still don't know her real name, and I don't want to know. It's just Deuxmoi to
The
me.
account's famous spotted posts. Read like text from a friend. Saw XYZ at a coffee shop in Soho. Or this A-list couple is back together. There's no filter, no polish, just the straight scoop from the people who are right there in the moment. Deuxmoi's followers know that they're getting a version of Hollywood that feels accessible, unscripted, and refreshingly real. And the best part, the anonymity of it all. The account has never revealed its creator's identity, and there are tips that are always kept vague enough to protect both the sources and the subjects. It's a mystery within a mystery, and it keeps people coming back, constantly refreshing their feeds for the latest scoop. Deuxmoi's real genius isn't just posting gossip. It's in its crowdsourcing of it. By asking followers to send in their own celebrity sightings, Deuxmoi turned the gossip game on its head. And it's no longer just a one-way street where reporters dig up dirt. It's a full-on community where fans become tipsters, each contributing their own piece to the Hollywood puzzle. People send in everything from harmless celebrity sightings at restaurants to big rumors about relationships and scandals, making Deuxmoi feel like the ultimate insiders club. The tipsters know they're anonymous, so they feel safe in sharing details that they might have otherwise kept quiet. And because Deuxmoi has a strict no-name policy, followers trust that they can share freely without blowing their cover. The result? A constant stream of information that just feels exclusive but still relatable, as if Hollywood secrets are just a DM away. And let's not ignore the genius of Deuxmoi's anonymity. To this day, no one knows who runs Deuxmoi, while there are rumblings on the internet.
But what's really interesting is Deuxmoi has not acknowledged any of this on Instagram at all. From what I can see, the account hasn't changed how it operates at all as well. Like, I'm wondering what this changes. I reckon it probably changes maybe occasionally what she posts, because it's a bit harder to post really edgy stuff about people's lives, about people's children, when people think they know who you are now. I mean, for example, when Hailey Bieber posted a while ago on Instagram saying she'd found out who Deuxmoi was, Deuxmoi basically stopped posting about Hailey Bieber.
Yes.
So what happens when everybody seems to know who you are? I think the content will get far softer.
It's going to be diluted. I think it's going to have to lose its edge. And I think a lot of diehard Deuxmoi fans will be upset about that. I also wonder if it's going to affect the sales of this book. And I wonder if it's going to affect the magic around the TV show. The whole idea with Gossip Girl and Anon Please, which is apparently the name of the book in the TV show, is that we still don't know. The mystery is solved. The jig is up. Yeah, the jig is up.
Of who that may be, I'm not going to get into that today. But they've done interviews where they talk about the account, but they do try very hard to keep their identity completely hidden.
You've talked about us a lot. You talked about celebrity, pop culture. I want you on. Now, this ghost thing that we're doing right here, I like the eye in the sky. I was flipping through the notes. People actually know who you are.
There's been speculation, but I've never confirmed or spoken on record about my identity.
And why do you keep that private?
At first it was because I had a job and I didn't want my boss and my coworkers to know that I was doing this.
Yep, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
I didn't want to get fired. So I quit my job last year, and then, people just advised me, like from a business perspective, to sort of just stay in the background and not make it about me. I'm not an influencer. That's not really like what I aspire to be. I'm not a showman like you, Dave. Like I'm not like a,
I thought it was because of fear. No?
No, well, fear of losing my job in the beginning.
No, fear like you're saying all this shit.
Like someone might come after you.
Correct, yes.
No, because if you're rich and powerful, you'll find me. Like it's not going to be that hard Do you know what I mean? Like,
Fair. Track an IP address or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, was I afraid of getting sued? Sure, but I always like try to err on the side of caution. Like I'm not going to be posting things that are going to get me in trouble because that's not what I want my account to be about. So I try to keep
Their
places.
choice only adds to the allure that followers feel like they're getting insider info from a mysterious source. Someone who could be anyone from a Hollywood insider into a regular New Yorker with an eye for drama. The anonymity has created a brand in itself. Deuxmoi is more than just a gossip account. It's a character, a nameless, faceless figure delivering secrets with no strings attached. The fact that nobody technically officially knows who they are only adds to the mystique, turning Deuxmoi into a kind of modern day gossip oracle or gossip girl. And for followers, the anonymity gives Deuxmoi a level of trustworthiness that other celebrity gossip sites can't quite match. And it's not just about Hollywood. Deuxmoi has become so popular that people send in sightings tips from across the world, expanding the scope beyond just LA scene. In a way, Deuxmoi made gossip feel global and personal, connecting followers who all share a love for the thrill of the unknown. Celebrities themselves now follow the accounts, with some even responding to tips about them. Another testament to the account's influence and reach. But with all of this excitement does come a question. What about the ethics of it all? Deuxmoi walks a fine line between public interest and privacy. The account is careful to avoid making harsh accusations or crossing certain lines, and they've built a reputation for sticking to lighthearted, non-damaging tips. But even so, it raises the question about the cost of sharing these stories and the impact it might have on the lives of the people involved. Deuxmoi's approach has been to keep things vague and respectful, offering gossip without fully invading privacy. And for the most part, followers appreciate that approach. Still, the nature of anonymous tips and speculation comes with a sense of risk, and it is a reminder of the delicate balance between fascination and respect in today's celebrity culture. Deuxmoi has left an undeniable mark on modern gossip, shaping the way we consume and interact with celebrity culture today. They created a space that feels less like traditional gossip and more like a conversation between fans, a community of people who love the thrill of celebrity sightings, juicy whispers, and harmless speculation. Deuxmoi changed the game by making gossip feel interactive, spontaneous, and fun. Instead of being a passive reader, followers feel like they are a part of the action, contributing, speculating, and connecting over a shared obsession with Hollywood's most fascinating stories.
Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Taylor and Travis. As far as I know, Taylor is in Kansas City for Thanksgiving. Somebody dropped in the Q&A. A friend has on good word that the two hottest teas bought a house together. They are contractors, meaning the friends are contractors. Now, you're going to ask where. I'm not going to tell you. We don't need to know where. We just need to know that if both of their names are allegedly on a legal document for property, that sounds like they're setting up house. Like setting up official house, if you know what I'm saying.
Deuxmoi has inspired countless other gossip pages, turning real-time fan-driven tips into a trend all on its own. So what's the legacy of Deuxmoi? It's more than just gossip. It's the thrill, the mystery, the feeling of being a part of something that no one can quite explain. Deuxmoi just isn't an Instagram account. It's a cultural phenomenon, a place where followers can feel like insiders, detectives, and fans all in one. Deuxmoi taught us that gossip doesn't have to be invasive or hurtful. It can be fun, it can be mysterious, and it can connect people in ways we never expected. The account's anonymous real-time format has changed the way we see Hollywood. proving that sometimes a little mystery makes everything a whole lot more exciting. And as long as Deuxmoi keeps on posting, we'll keep on refreshing, waiting for the next big blind. Because in the world of Deuxmoi, the secrets are endless and the mystery is half the fun.
Tune into the buzz, it's the talk of the day. From Bravo shows to the latest celeb spree, we've got the tea, come sip it with me. Dani Gossip Girl, Pop Culture Exposé, we're spilling all the secrets every